This video shows you how to play the Demise of Dr. Frankenstein. Alright, so we have 4 players in this game. We have a blue player, red, black, and green player. We have our main board here and our victory point board here. On the main board we have the graveyard where the body parts are, the trader where the gold is, and here's the lab that we call the clinician. And here's where you roll the dice and place them on there. So on this board is where you keep track of the victory points, the curators here, and this is where you track the Frankenstein monsters that have been built. So we're going to start with the blue player, and every player starts off as the rolling player. So he's going to roll these dice and place them on the corresponding numbers that have been rolled. And then each player will choose a die, and that will tell them what action that they'll be taking. So those are the dice that are rolled for the first turn, for the blue player's turn. So every player starts with a piece of gold and 2 body parts, an arm and a leg. And so here we go. The blue player gets to choose one of these dies. So he will choose, let's see, he is going to choose to dig in the graveyard and get more body parts. So in doing that, he will roll this die right there, and he rolls a 1. A 1 gives him an arm, and it shows on this. It shows on the graveyard what each roll means. So that's a leg. So he'll get an arm and add to the number of body parts that he can now use to build a Frankenstein monster. Now that is going to make the villagers angry because they don't like it when you dig in the graveyard. So at the end of the round, this villager anger level is going to go up 1. Now it's the red player's turn. The red player is going to choose the clinician. Now he chooses the clinician for a couple of reasons. One is it enhances his rolls when he goes to the graveyard. He can, if he's got 1 block here, he can add 1 or subtract 1 from the rolls when he goes here, and thus giving him more ability to find correct body parts. Also, they are victory points that he'll get at the end of the round, and if he has more than 1 in here on a single row, then he'll be able to get more victory points, a bonus. If he has 1 in each column, then he will be able to build a Frankenstein monster with less body parts. So that's a great place to be, is in the lab. Igor helps you in the lab, and so we'll show you how that works in just a second. The black player is going to choose the curator. In the curator, you get a special action that can only be played by a player who chooses that box. He will go right here. That will give him 2 pieces of gold from the trading spot right here, from the trader. Normally the trader only gives you 1 piece of gold, but if you choose this, then you get 2. Now we'll go with the green player. The green player is going to choose this right here. That is the officer. That's these cards up here. There are creatures that he could choose which give him victory points, and you can save them, and you have to take care of them after you get so many, after you get 5 of them. Before that, they just kind of live off the scraps you've got laying around from your failed or successful surgeries, whichever. Or the coadjutor is the other thing, the other guy that's available. The coadjutor says you can take an extra resource or gold when choosing the trader. So those are his choices. He can choose 1 because that's all he can afford. The maximum you can buy in a single turn is 2. So he will buy the coadjutor right there. So anytime that the green player goes to the trader, he'll get 2 resources instead of 1. And when his turn is done, an extra card goes up. You can choose a card at random from here, or you can take one that's face up. It is your choice. All right, so here we go with the black player is going to go again, the green player is going to go again, because once you go around once, then you go in reverse order for the second round. So we'll do the green player, and he'll get 2 turns in a row. So he's going to choose the other curator spot. The other curator spot allows him to gain victory points or more cards or things like that. He is going to place that right here. That is the clinician spot, And that particular one lets him put a cube anywhere on this row. You'll notice that these numbers go 1, 2, 3, 4. So he'll get more victory points down here on the bottom row. Most of the time you can't place it below the level where Igor is standing, but that spot lets you do that. So that's what he's going to do. The black player is now going to choose a die. He'll choose the trader. So he's got lots of money because he had two trader actions. The red player is going to also choose the trader. Take that money right there. The blue player is going to choose Igor. Igor kind of lets you move blocks around. But since there's really no block of his on the table, that's something that he can't do. You can either move him from the curator to the clinician back and forth or to different spots and take the benefit of that action. Like if you moved one from here to here, you'd get that action. He doesn't have any blocks out there. So if you choose any die and there's really not much you can do, you can always take 2 victory points and reshuffle these cards that are up here. So blue is going to take 2 victory points, and we're going to take these cards right here. If there are any cards that are currently discarded, which there are not, then you would also include them in this. You will shuffle this deck, and I will just shuffle it once for the sake of time here, and then we will place 3 new cards face up. So that is always an option, is to take those 2 victory points and get new cards up if you don't like the options that are available. So there are 3 creatures to choose from right there. All right, so we've completed round 1. Now the red player becomes the rolling player. So he'll take all the dice and he will roll. Incidentally, the starting player gets to be that for the whole round until the villagers come and burn down your castle and destroy things. And because we had a digging in the graveyard at the end of that round, the villagers do go up. Their rage goes up 1 level. So the red player is now going to roll the dice. Lots of choices from Igor this time. Lots of choices for the clinician this time, and 1 choice there for the officer cards. So the red player, he's got 2 coins, so he is going to play. He's going to take a die from the officer, and he is going to pay 2 coins. He'll pay them right there. He's going to take 2 of these, which are both creatures. If he had 1 creature at the end of the round, he'd get 1 point. Since he has 2, he'll get 3 points, and that scale escalates that way. After he's chosen his cards, 2 more come up, and they are cards that give you benefit, and there's 1 creature out there. Next, we'll choose the black player is going to take 1 off of the clinician, so he's going to place 1 on the row equal to or less than Igor's position in the clinician row. So he's spending time in the lab. And then the green player is going to take Igor. So he's going to move Igor up 1 level, and then he's going to move this block from here to here. That allows him to dig in the graveyard without enraging the villagers. So here's his dig, and he's got 1 on here, so he can add or subtract 1 from this roll. He rolls a 4. If he adds 1 to that roll, it's a 5, and he can take any 2 body parts from the graveyard. 1 will be a torso, and 1 will be a head. So those are 2 parts that he needs to build his Frankenstein monster. And as you build the Frankenstein monster, you can put him together, start assembling him. The pieces fit together like this, like so. And so he's got an arm and a leg that he started with. He's got a torso and a head, and he is building a monster. So there's where he's at on that. Once a monster is built, he's placed here in the victory point chart for the monsters. The lowest one is where you place it. That gives you 12 victory points. And then any player that completes a monster also builds on the next higher level. You can also improve your monster by choosing Igor. If you already have 1 here, then you can move him up to the next available number and gain more victory points that way. All right, so now it's a round of the blue player. The blue player is going to take a block from the clinician, and he'll place 1 in the clinician row right there. giving him victory points later on and a better ability to dig in the graveyard. He's going to choose the next one from the Clinician, and now he's got 2 blocks on the same row. So when the round ends, he'll have 2 victory points here, 2 victory points here, and a bonus 1 because they're both in the same row. And now we go back to the green player as we have reversed the order. The green player is going to go ahead and take that last Clinician and put one right there. So he has 6 victory points in the Clinician, but they're not in the same row, so there's no bonus for what he's doing. But he's also kind of trying to block the blue player from getting those bonus victory points. The black player will now go. He'll choose Igor. He's going to move Igor up 1 level. He is going to go ahead and, let's see, he needs body parts, but he really needs his cards. So he's going to move right here. That gives him the opportunity to purchase 2 cards for 1 coin. So he'll spend his 1 coin. He'll take these 2 cards right here. So the Engineer, that'll let him build monsters on any victory point number when he finally does that. And the Pelton Wheel will get him 1 extra gold when he's playing when he plays a block in the Clinician. So he's going to be able to gain more gold that way. And now we put up 2 more cards available for everyone. Next is the red player, and the red player finishes out the round with Igor. And so he feels like Igor's probably okay in that spot where he's at right now. And so what he's going to do is take his block right here. Well, he can move Igor down to here, and then he can move this block down to there, gaining him more victory points later on. So Igor lets you adjust Igor's level and then move a block around on the board. And so it might have been a good idea for him to place that block right there, and that's certainly a legal move, and that would give him 2 coins. And in fact, that's probably a better move. So let's let him do that, and he'll get 2 coins because he doesn't have any money right now, and that might be a better move for him. Now the rolling player becomes the black player, and he will take all the dice and roll them. And place those dice here on the board. That was a 6, and I turned it with my finger, so there we go, accidentally. And okay, and forgot to roll 2 of the dice. All right, so here's the dice roll now. You can notice that not all of the people that you get to influence are available every round. We start with the black player. And he is going to choose number 4 and place a block in the Clinician row right there. Now, because he has the Pelton Wheel, he gets to gain a resource when he places that block, so he gets gold. All right. Now, the green player's turn, he has the Coadjutor, so when he goes to the Trader, he can get an extra coin. So that seems like a good move for him. He'll choose this one, number 3, which is the Trader, and take 2 coins. Now we have the blue player's turn. He doesn't have any cards, so that would be a good move for him. He could go into the Curator area. That might be a good move for him. The blue player is going to choose, he's going to choose the Curator, and with that Curator he's going to place a block in the Clinician area, so he will place it right there. Now he has 3 blocks in that row. That'll give him a bonus of 3 at the end of the round, plus whatever victory points are shown there under that. Also, he's getting close to being able to build a monster through the Clinician, which is a kind of a less expensive way to build a monster. Now let's go to the red player. The red player is going to choose the officer cards. He's going to pay 2 gold and gain 2 cards. Here is the Polytheu, and that allows him to build a monster with 1 less body part. Here is the Arboretum. The Arboretum lets him gain 4 extra victory points if he has a block in the Clinician, which the red player doesn't have right now, so it's probably something that he wants to work on getting. And then we have the black player's turn. The black player, and we need to turn up those cards before it is the black player's turn. The black player is going to go ahead and choose that because he's got lots of money. He'll pay that and gain 2 creature cards, giving him victory points at the end of the round. And now there are 2 more things that come up. And that's how you play the game. You just go that way until that villager gets to here. Now he gets mad every time someone builds a monster, or every time someone digs in the graveyard. Now you can see that once someone has built their monster, what they'll do is, after they have all the body parts, then they will go ahead and put that on the monster victory point track like that, and then put a block by that to show that's their monster. If you do run out of blocks, there's each player has plenty of blocks, but if you run out, you can move blocks from one area to another instead of taking them from your supply. And that does happen occasionally, but anyway, so that's the round. After the round is over, and everyone's finished with the once he has gotten to there, then if you have more than 5 creatures, you have to pay for those creatures. If you have too much money, more than 3 coins, you have to put those excess back, because the villagers burned you down. You don't get to keep things that they confiscated. The body parts also, if you have more than 3, you also lose those. Any monsters here go back to the graveyard. You can take those apart. Igor goes back to there, and the villagers go back to there. And then it would be the red player's turn to be the starting player. He would be the one to start the round and to roll the dice. Everyone has a chance in the game to be the starting player once, and after everyone's been the starting player, then the game is over. So that's how the game's played. Thanks very much.